Well, boys, this is the start of the Zuma build. If you watched the last video, you saw where we're at on the motor right now. Currently waiting on our new bore to show up, warranted, because this bore had a casting flaw in it, which created a really bad air leak. So we're waiting on that to finalize the motor. But I would like to be able to at least get this thing stripped down and the forks put in here today. We're gonna get down to the bare minimum of this bike and start from scratch, if you will, and pull the fuel tank off, because we have a new petcock coming anyway. So I got a bunch of parts I'm going to be putting on. I also want to look at possible reinforcements for this frame here. So yeah, I'm just going to get right into it, pull everything off, and this is your last look at it. Just like that, that's what our PREBUG's looking like now. Raw frame status. Took apart the headset because I'm not going to be doing that because we're going naked bars, boys. We're not even going to be, look at, I got these gauges on here. We don't even need them because I got a vapor gauge coming in, so go ahead and put them with all the other Zuma parts. Sadly, I think I'm going to throw away this blue and white 89 headset because, well, the whole front of it's cracked all the way down. Frame down to a minimum. I got the wheels for the bike all taken out because I'm going to go take them to powder coating. So got to pull that valve stem out of this one. Got the Brembo taken all apart. I was going to swap to my NCY brake and trade them, but I kind of want to keep this one Brembo. It's kind of sick that's a Brembo brake, but that's going to get powder coated too. So I'm going to throw everything in this bin that's going for powder coating and kind of get it out of my way. Kicker cover, powder coating. Alright, boys, we got some pieces to the puzzle of the Zuma here. We got, I believe what this is the new replacement cylinder, warranted cylinder, because of that small crack we had in the casting of ours. We got a little Polini spark plug boot. We got a vapor gauge. We got a manual petcock for the PREBUG. For the new build, just a manual boy, you know, get rid of the intake line from your petcock, just run that manual boy, shut off valve, and of course the goddamn kickstand, which is mandatory. So all this, oh, and we got for the F12 some new red clutch springs, because I believe what the clutch springs have in right now on the F12 are the orange ones, which are like the mid-level, white the softest, orange mid, and the red is the race one. So we definitely need those on the F12, so those will be going in on the F12 next. But we have a few more parts for the F12, so we're just gonna add that to this pile right here, which we will look at next time we're working on that one. But yeah, had to get all this from, you know, good old screw swap shop. Came through with the quickness. This was like ordered yesterday. So alright, boys, as you can see, I started adding to the frame. So currently on the frame, we threw on the horn again, threw on our ignition piece, and we cleaned up our inner fender. New EBR front suspension. So this was only used for a little bit on my blue and white Zuma when I threw it on, but I knew I wanted it for the new build. So I went ahead and threw the stock front end from the bike I'm building right now, currently, that came on it. Threw it back on here, the normal KYBs, because they were a little soft, and threw on the brand new EBRs I bought like a couple months prior. So some brand new front shocks on the thing. It should feel really nice on the front end, and you know, we got everything in there. So everything's looking super, super minty. Now I'm going to go ahead, and I already removed the petcock, so as you can see we have a normal intake valve. That's why it has the 2-port, and fuel just dumped out on my hand. Manual petcock installed on the bad boy now, so fuel tank's pretty much ready to go on as well. But for now, I mean, we might as well, right? Might as well throw on our naked bar stem. So we got a flat black stem. Had this for a little bit now, and we'll just go ahead and set that bad boy on there. Boys, we got our stem for our naked bars. You can see here we had the blue one, we had the tall one on here, now we got the short one. Looks like it's about like an inch shorter, so we're gonna even it out because we're gonna try different bars, and the bars are taller, so it's gonna be about the same height, but instead we're gonna have shorter stem, taller bars, so it's gonna compensate for that. There we go, boys, got the stem on there. One more piece to the puzzle. Alright, boys, just went through and shined the light in every single crevice I could, and we're looking good on this cylinder. So if you look, what we had before was, see the little crack in there. Now on the new one in that corner, dark down there, boys. No light peeking through. It's hard to see from this angle, but I went through and searched with everything. Boys, we got some work to do for the PREBUG Zuma today. We got the new C cover I ordered. I ordered on Black Friday because they did like, I think it was like 30% off or something. It was a pretty good deal for a C cover, especially with the patches I got, which you will see, which are obviously additional costs. But we've done this before. It's the same thing. We did it on this Zuma here. I got a Thrill Seekers one. That's the patch I went with. On this one we got the MOPBOYZ Garage. This one we got the gripper seat, and then the Thrill Seekers patch back there. You see it with the red. Well, This bike, I'm trying to go like kind of like a darker scheme, and I want it to be more like just simpler and clean. It's gonna be like a clean stunt bike look. Pretty much gonna try to do everything black and have just the panels, make it look really just simple and clean. So I wanted to go with a simple seat, but still have its own look to it. So what we got here, boys, best of the best, Thrill Seekers. And you see it right there. We got no gripper on this one because I almost thought that the gripper ribs were a little too grippy, if you feel me. Like, this seat is a little too slippery because it has like a leathery like slide to it. I liked this gripper part, but with the ribs, it's like, bro, you couldn't get back. If you were like sitting too close up on a wheelie, you want to like slide back to get a coaster going. It was almost harder on that than it is like when we were sliding. So you want a little bit of slide, but you don't want to be sliding off. So I went with no ribs on this one. And then as you see, we got the MOPBOYZ patch. Not too sure I'm gonna like the white patch. I was hoping it was gonna be the black background because I sent it as a PNG file, but they put the white background. I'm not sure how it's gonna look. It might look okay because the white graphics on the Zuma. But then I got the little side patch too. You see it there, MOPBOYZ, boom. So that's it. So we're gonna do a little seat cover swap today, which is easy. Obviously the first step to do this would be to remove the other seat cover. So what you have to do, the fun part, is go through here and pick out all these staples. Just using a flathead screwdriver, some needle nose pliers, just go through, pull them all out. I'm also gonna do one thing while we're in here, and I have to cut a few pieces of plastic. That's why I want to get this done, is trim the underneath of here, and you get rid of this giant plastic hump. It's just better for your knee on like knee knockers, and when you're like doing stunts on the back of the seat, you don't get that like really hard plastic right in your kneecap. So I'll show you what I mean when I get the seat cover off of this and we pull the foam off. Let's reveal the bad boy. Nice one piece though. That's good, no cracked foam piece. This one we're gonna be trimming off. We did it on my last one too, if you watched. You pretty much just trim these humps off. It creates like where it looks like a hole on this side, but there's a lot of cross bracing that you end up leaving, so it's still strong in that area. But yeah, we're just gonna pretty much come in here with an angle grinder and clean all that up. If you mess with PREBUGs, you know how annoying this rear fender is to get on. You almost have to pull the engine out, you have to drop the rear shock to be able to wiggle this thing out. I always cut mine, so I cut it pretty much right, it's hard to see right now, my finger right straight across here, basically right where the rear tire is, and then everything above the head of the cylinder and under the petcock, all that is open. Pretty much only use it so I can at least put stuff in my seat. Like I put tools or I put my stuff in here, so otherwise if you delete the bottom of the fender right in this area, it'll just be a hole and you'll be able to see your tire. So that's why I cut mine like that, and I can fit everything, and I have a little storage cubby still on the bike. And then it gives you a spot to mount the license plate to when you keep it like that. So that's what I'm doing to this fender right now. Also, if you're gonna be having the scrape bar, when your fender's this long, the fender hits the ground first and it kind of folds. So that's another reason I cut my fenders off on these, because it's just like sketchy when your plastic's rubbing on the ground, it kind of make you wiggle. So we're gonna go through, trim up all these plastic pieces right now, and we'll go from there. Alright, it is time to put it all back together now. What I'm gonna do is take the heat gun and just warm this seat cover up a little bit with what we can, and then I'm gonna go ham and staple it all in. I use an air compressed stapler because it's way stronger. Like, you pretty much have to. You cannot use one of these style staplers. It is not strong enough for this plastic. You're gonna have the hardest time ever. Get yourself an air compressed one and go at it, chief. Alright boys, this is how we're looking with the seat. A little dirty now from flipping it around on the table and installing it and wrestling this thing to get it on. But we got it on there. Super tight, it's all straight. Stoked on how it turned out. As you can see, we're straight down the center. MOPBOYZ side decal on both sides. It looks a lot better now that it's on, but I'm still not sure how I like the white. But I guess it will be fitting with the white sticker graphic right there, so I don't think it'll stand out too much. It's pretty much how we're gonna be looking. Looks pretty good actually with all the black and white on it. Ooh, it looks pretty good. Alright, so as we're waiting for the finishing of the porting on the new cylinder, motor's still on standby, so we're going to have to finish this video without completing the motor. But in the next video you see of this scooter, we should be air checking the motor and finalizing that. But we got one more thing to throw on. Went ahead and grabbed some Pro Taper mini bars, Honda mini bars. I chose these bars over like the scooter handlebars that are sold because I put a pair of these straight handlebars, these like downhill style ones, on this bike, and I absolutely hate the way this bike feels. That's pretty much why I never rode this thing. The bars are just straight. I just do not like that. If you notice on the stock bars, there's this thing called back sweep. The grips kind of turn towards you, right? To me, I kind of like that leverage feel. These bars are like, there's like barely any. So then these bars for pro tapers were pretty much had the most back sweep I can find for like upgraded handlebars. This is just how like stock is because it's just more comfortable, and the scooter is obviously a transporter. It's not like built to ride like this. So they're a little bit more back sweep, which is a little bit more comfortable on your arms and everything. These ones are very aggressive, like a mountain bike. You want that broad shoulder stance. These are like a happy medium. So if you look, you can see how the back sweep is drastically more on the stock bars, right? I could try to put it on top, but it doesn't line up as much. But you can still get the idea. But there is back sweep on these. Pretty decent amount. If you look on these ones, though, dude, it's like maybe 0.5 degrees. Like I could stack these ones pretty much on top. You can see the difference in the curve of how it goes towards you. As I said, this one was a tall stem. We went with the shorter one this time. We went with taller bars to compensate for that. So as you see, the bars are right there, like even with the stem, see how much taller they actually are? So it compensates getting a shorter stem. It's a lot more even compared to these ones. So we're gonna trim them up a bit. I kind of want them the same width, maybe a 1/4 inch bigger. And let's go from there, boys. All right, so I just measured it up. These bars are 25 on the stock. These ones are 26. So they're 1/2 inch bigger on each side. These ones right here are 29. So I like the width of the white ones. I just don't like the back sweep. So I'm gonna cut these to 26. So I'm gonna do 1.5 inches off each side, taking 3 inches off total, 29 to 26. If I do my math right, we should be at 26 inches. Well, boys, this is where we officially get to end the video. We got the handlebars chopped off. As you can see, grinding down the edges, filed them down so they're smooth on the edges. And we're looking just the right width. The flat black on the flat black looks so good. The flat black is so clean. That's going to do it for this one. I'm stoked to be able to see the bike looking like this. I can kind of get a feel for what it's going to look like. I'm stoked. I'll see you guys in the next one.